There's some dogs outside. Got some new dogs actually. Got my dog's all excited, so I don't know if they're even gonna come close to sitting. Rango, yeah. Rango, sits. Sits. Bruce, you're good. Lucy? Yeah, Rango. Lana, you're always good. You're a sweetheart. You're a sweetheart. Yeah. She's my girl. Okay. Espera. Rango, no. 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 Vamos. Lana, ven. Here comes Jerry. Some dogs here, so they're going a little crazy. But it's day 2 of my fast. As I always say, every single time I do a fast, I'm like, why don't I always do this? It's like always the best I ever feel. Yeah. Oh, there's some chihuahuas here. It's a chihuahua fight. So yeah, feeling great. Yesterday I just had organic red grape juice, and I had a couple of green juices with some apple, carrot, and spinach and stuff. And feeling just great again today, like right back to how I was feeling before I left on my trip. So I don't know how long I'll do it, but already feeling amazing. So. Loving it. There's some chihuahuas up here. Chihuahuas. Oh, I don't know where they are. So I had some more thoughts on how we need to live in the now. And it's just so important. It's so much better. Yeah, perros, yeah. Jerry, yeah. Lara, yeah. 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 Ben. Locos. Yeah, Jerry, yeah. Lucy, yeah. So, my dogs are so crazy. Yeah, so for me to talk about living in the now, it's kind of like wasting your time, because you really should be reading or watching Eckhart Tolle. He knows all about this stuff, and I learned quite a bit about it from him. But sometimes it's good also to describe it from your own angle. Some people might not like to. They might find him too. Yeah, Lena, no, Ben. Dennis. Yeah. Always chaos with the dogs. Some people might find him too hard to watch because he's so slow. Because he'll actually start a speech with, he won't even talk for like 5 minutes. He'll just sit there like this. And some people might be like, okay, I can't take this. You have to be kind of like in that Zen sort of frame of mind to be able to listen to him sometimes. So for those who aren't, it might be a little hard. They might not get it. They might not get like, why is he just like not talking so much? It's like, because it doesn't matter. You should be just not caring either. You should just be like not thinking about why it's weird, just breathing. But maybe I can put my own sort of spin on things. So for people who don't quite get it when he says it, but basically what I've learned is just not to think too much about what's going to happen. Of course, planning and stuff like that. I'm planning a trip right now. My son wants to go back to Germany for a few months, so I'm going to take him. I'm going to try to go to Iran and a few other places on the way. So I'm planning that trip as far as booking tickets. But what I'm not doing is thinking about it. What's going to happen? Oh, if I go to Iran, what if I have a problem with the government there? No, not at all. Or at least try not to. I'm very human. So I used to be not like this, so you can easily fall back into those traps of thinking too much. But what I've learned in my life is it's a complete waste of time to worry. See, thinking and worrying is sort of similar. In many ways, when people are thinking about stuff, they're actually worrying about the future. And it's just a waste of time. Like, I just know from experience that whatever you worry about is never going to happen. And whatever you never even thought of is. So why waste hours and days going through so you're actually putting yourself through a bit of the pain of something really happening when it's not. So for example, when I was looking at buying a sailboat for the first time, I had never sailed before. I thought about it so much. And of course there's a good level of interest, right? Like there's a curiosity. I think that's okay. But I'd also think about, what if this happened? What if that happened? What if I get into this situation? What if the boat starts sinking? Which actually ended up happening. You know, all these sort of scenarios go through your head. And that is like, not only a waste of time, it also kind of puts you unnecessarily through all kinds of like simulated stress situations when it's not even happening. And for example, I did worry about what if I sank the boat. And it didn't help that I had everyone telling me I was gonna sink it. Nice job of creating reality there, everyone. Actually, I don't know if that was the case or not. But I do know it was not anything how I thought it would be. It was, in fact, almost the opposite of what I thought it would be. It was an adrenaline rush. There was no fear. My friend had a lot of fear. I didn't have any fear. See, I'm not afraid to die, so that helps. And she was, and now she isn't. So that actually cured her of it. So that's kind of good. She actually said it's one of the best things that ever happened to her. So isn't that interesting, right? Because a lot of people worry, oh my God, if I ever was in a boat and it sank. Well, she says it was the best thing that ever happened to her, and I had a great time. We both actually said that night when we were back on the shore, we were like, that was so amazing. That was like the best. I feel better than I've ever felt in my life, and I did. I was just so full of adrenaline, and who knows what else comes out. But it's not like what people think. Like people would have assumed, and people still to this day say, oh my God, you must have been horrified or terrified. No, it was great. So all that time I spent thinking about what would happen was basically a waste of time. So why do it, right? So, and it also gets you, like last night, the reason I'm doing this or saying this is because last night I was sleeping, I got woken up, and my mind started to race about certain things, and I caught myself doing it, and I was like, okay, this is crazy. So I forget even what the dream was, but I woke up, let him in. Oh, there's a dog, another new dog. Yep. Let him in. Let him in. Ringo, ven. Yep. Muy bien, muy bien. I forget what the thing was, but all of a sudden, it was something like, man. See, I don't remember the exact circumstance, but all I know is something minor, and then my mind started to race, and it raced from thing to thing. So it was something like Bitcoin crashed, and I was like, oh, but then this is gonna happen, and then, oh, and then my wife, she's going on this trip, and, you know, I started like, it sent me down this path of thinking about dozens of bad scenarios. It was just one after another. And then I caught myself, because I'm getting better at this is what you get when you start getting into meditation and raising your awareness, your consciousness. You can catch yourself doing this stuff and stop it. So I did, and I went, wait a second, why am I thinking about all this stuff? And I went back, and it was something like Bitcoin crashed in my dream or something. And I went, okay, Bitcoin crashed. That's it. I don't need to think about anything else. And it was actually this feeling of, okay, that's fine. It was like this, that's the other thing too. It's living in the now and accepting reality. Most people, when they're really frustrated, upset about life, a lot of it is they're just not willing to accept reality. So Oh, I remember part of last night. My wife got home late. And I was thinking about how in the old days I really hated it. Because first of all, I'd worry about her. You know, she'd get home 1, 2 in the morning. Who knows where she is, what's going on. Maybe someone did something to her. Who knows, right? That's the thing that I was talking about. I've gotten rid of that mostly now, which has totally helped our relationship, by the way. Because in the old days, I'd be calling her all the time. I'd be like, are you okay? And she'd be like, yeah, I'm fine. She's like a total warrior. Like, she does not... That's part of the reason I kind of fell in love with her, because I knew I didn't have to worry about her, because, like, she takes care of herself. She's like, no, don't worry about me. But I still did. I had this sort of, like, thing. I'd worry about everyone. And this was actually a big thing in my life for the last few years. Maybe most of my life, but definitely since I've had my kids and my dogs and everything. Just always worrying about them. Well, I'm over that now. I just don't. Hey, if something happens today, something happens. I'm not going to think about it right now. Why would I? I'm having a great time right now. I'm with all my dogs. They're all totally healthy right now. Why would I think about what if they got hurt? That would just be like living an experience that isn't even real. Feeling the pain of that experience. And then not actually living the true experience, which is actually fine, which is right now. They're all totally great right now. Totally happy right now. So I think that's the two things: living in the now and accepting reality. And I guess it's sort of tied in with not worrying about the future. And I was just in Las Vegas, and we were driving by the fountains in front of Bellagio, and there's a lot of people like to go and watch it. And as we're driving by, every second person was on their phone or their iPad holding it up, videotaping the fountain. Now, I can guarantee you, nobody, not one person cares to watch that video that they just made. It's like, yeah, it's a fountain, and it's nowhere near as exciting or nice as it would have been in real life, which you actually weren't really enjoying because you were more focused on videotaping it, either to show to people who, like I just said, couldn't care less about seeing that. If they really want to see the fountain at Bellagio, they'll go online and find a really high quality HD version a guy with a drone did, if they really care, if they want to see it. You don't need to videotape it for them. I guarantee you someone's videotaped it. In fact, right beside you are hundreds of other people videotaping it as we speak. Or they say to themselves, I'll watch this again later. No, you won't. And if you do, oh my God, what a horrible life you have. That you don't actually experience the moments as you live them, and then you re-experience the moments you didn't live in a secondhand way that is really crappy afterwards. Like, talk about doing the total wrong thing. And a lot of people might say to me, oh, you're walking down the street right now with a selfie stick. You're doing basically the same thing. No, I'm not actually. You could say I'm not enjoying this walk with the dogs as much as I would if I wasn't doing this. And that's true to a point. And I do have days where I don't do this because I want to just really enjoy the moment. But I also really enjoy this. This is like therapeutic for me to talk this out. I'm still walking with the dogs. They're still happy. And, you know, I actually don't watch these afterwards either. So this is not... And I think it does kind of help some people. I've seen in the comments, a lot of people say, wow, it changed my life, all this kind of stuff. It's like, oh, that's cool. I'm not just sitting here taking like video of the scenery instead of looking at the scenery. That just doesn't make any sense. But that's what so many people do. So they're not living in the moment, ever. They're worrying about the future, which is a waste of time. And what's the other one? Kind of forgetting my own points. Oh, they're not accepting reality. Oh, that's the other sort of thing I haven't talked about yet. Not really accepting reality as it is. Oh, that's my point when I was talking about my wife getting home late. I used to worry, but I don't anymore. And I caught myself a few times last night. I was like, oh, it's getting late. Like I'd wake up around 1 in the morning. I'm like, oh, she's still not here. Hope she's okay. And then it's like, no, stop it. Whatever it is. But there's nothing that I know of bad happening at the moment. So do not even think about it. Just, you know, go back to sleep. And that's what I did. Whereas in the old days, it'd be like worry, call. Yeah, Meadows. Jenny, Ben. Jenny. Barking at people in their own house. Jenny. Jenny, Ben. Jenny. Jenny. Ben. Ay, travieso. Yeah, Jenny. So yeah, a lot of the people who are kind of upset or frustrated, they're just not willing to accept reality. And that's another thing that people should learn to do. Just accept reality. Whatever it is happening, it's happening. Don't get upset. If you want to change it, go ahead and change it. There's no point in, having this unhappiness about what's actually happening right now. There's really no point in getting all upset about it. If you're not happy with it, change it. But don't, you see so many people doing stuff similar to that. They're just unhappy with their life. And their life, that's their reality, is they got a crappy job. And they're not happy. All right, well, don't not be happy. Just change it. And so many people they just don't believe they can change their own life. It's the only thing you can do is change your own life, and it's so easy. Even as I just pointed out in the video yesterday about changing your diet. It's so easy. Most people don't know, and they've never tried, and they're too scared to try. This all ties in, right? And they worry about what's going to happen. Well, don't worry about it, just do it. And that was the point of yesterday's video. And pretty much every time, it's anything people were worried about, it's not that bad. If anything, it's good. And it's kind of interesting, I guess, as humans, like even me, when I was thinking about fasting yesterday, I was a little bit like, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. I do like eating food. I kind of forget. That's kind of why I like doing some stuff like this, kind of almost like reminding not only myself but other people about things. And one of them was how great I feel when I'm fasting. Like, I feel amazing. I feel so much better than I did yesterday. Now I don't know how long I'm going to do it because I don't think about it. I kind of hope I can do it for a while, but we'll see what happens. It's no big deal, whatever happens. But the worry about, I'm going to have a few hours where it's going to be uncomfortable. I actually did have a bit of time yesterday where it was uncomfortable, which I don't normally have. It was around 3 in the afternoon, and I got this almost like racing heart and sweats, almost like a sugar low, I guess you could call it. I think that's what it was. And your first instinct is, I better eat something, like, if I could eat something, it'll stop this. But I recognized it as what it was, and I just went and lied down. And after a little while, like 15 minutes, it was pretty much gone. Then I had a siesta, and that was really good, and I felt good again. So that was the worst thing that happened with this fast, and I think that's probably good. Kind of had this real sweat, like this sweating really hard for like 10-15 minutes, which is probably really good. It's probably a detox. But I don't know exactly what happened. People can put in the comments below if that's normal or not. But I had been on a really bad diet for a week before, so it is possible that I was like, my body was like really having a hard time getting into the fast. But now after that, I've been feeling great. So the point is just to not worry, just do stuff and live in the moment. Don't be one of those people standing in front of something that you think's really interesting. I don't find those fountains at the Bellagio interesting at all, but obviously those people do. And you're videotaping it. Like, just watch it, just enjoy it, and smell the smells, look at the view, hear the noise. That's what you're there for, right? If you do want to see that, which I totally don't understand, but obviously they do. and they want to capture it in like 2D with no smells, no tactile senses, just like a 2D video with some pretty crappy sound. They want to capture that. So obviously a lot of people just aren't ever living in the now. And that's a problem for a lot of people. Because if you're not, you're just going to be in constant hell. So since I've been doing stuff like this, my life's been so much better. All the stuff that I used to just stress out about, it's just not, I don't stress out about it anymore. It's just a choice. I just one day sort of came to this realization that I'm talking about here. It's like, yeah, I could sit here all night and worry about my wife and have a million thoughts go through my head about what might be happening to her, or I don't. And I just wait until something does happen, and then I respond to it. And yeah, it's made my life so much better. It's made our family life better too, because it used to stress her out, because I'd be always worried. And like I said, she's not a worrier. She actually does live in the now pretty much all the time. Like, she's quite, not many people know her. She keeps to herself a lot. But I know her, obviously. And she's not your typical person. She's mostly always living in the now. And because of that, she's quite happy most of the time. So for her to live with somebody like me who wasn't, and is always worrying and stressed out, was hard for her. But now it's not. So that's really improved our lives. And it's amazing too how the dogs will sense your energy. So if you're stressed out, they're all stressed out. And if you're not, then they're like, cool, sort of like right now. And my dogs are like, yeah, everything's all relaxed. We're just going for a walk. In fact, that's sort of what we need to be like more, is dogs. Because they 100% live in the now. They're never thinking about what happened yesterday. They're never thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow. And what is it about dogs? They're always happy. Why is that? Because they're always living in the now. And they're always basically meditating. When we go back to the house, after they're done looking around for stuff, as they're doing right now, they're just going to sit there and just look at the wall, breathe, and not think about anything. That's meditation. So that's why dogs are so happy. They live in the now and they meditate all the time. And people wonder, oh, why can't we be more like dogs? You can be. Now, I'm not happy all the time. I'm nowhere near that level yet. But man, I'm so much better than I was. Because I mostly live in the now. I'd say, if I had to give a number, I'd say 70% of the time I'm living in the now. I do think a lot, and a lot of it's, business related. A lot of it is, I do so many things that you do have to plan, right? You have to think about possible outcomes for the business, which is fine, as I said, but making sure you don't get carried away and worrying about what could happen and just going through all kinds of scenarios in your head. It's really not too necessary. Like, you can pretty much see with a business, like, okay, this could happen, that could happen. Okay, I don't need to think about it all day. Maybe I'll buy some insurance. What if I'm a transporter and the boat sinks? Yeah, I better get some insurance. Am I gonna sit up all night worrying about the boat sinking? No. So that's where, if I wasn't doing all these things, I'd probably live even more in the now. And I actually don't meditate a ton. I need to do more. But I do so many things health related now that I feel amazing. So that's really sort of like the thing, is living the now. So, and there's those chihuahuas. So, hey, chihuahuas. Hey, chihuahuas. So meditation totally helps you to catch yourself when you're overthinking things, and it slows your mind down, like it gets it under control. So if you're having trouble doing that, start meditating. And if you have a real hard time, like it's almost impossible, you might want to look into psychedelics. because that'll force you to have to do it. Ayahuasca, magic mushrooms, San Pedro is really great. It's not that hard at all. I might be doing San Pedro this weekend. I don't want to do too many psychedelics now, because I'm pretty good and it's really hard to do. But San Pedro is one that's actually enjoyable for me. So I might do that this weekend. It's been a while since I've done anything like that and sort of get out of my headspace, get really connected and zen. And that's what San Pedro helps me do. So, yeah, it's a good day for the dogs. They're all happy, tired. So yeah, it's just basically living the now. If you're on this, watching this, and you're thinking about 3 other things while you're watching this, turn off the other things or turn this off and just focus on one of them. And that's something I have a really hard time doing as well. If anyone's ever seen my computer, I have like 50 browser windows open at once. I'm usually playing poker while I'm writing. So I need to listen to my own advice a bit as well. So I'm not just preaching to the choir here. I need to do that myself. But the more that you can do that, the better it is. Just ask the dogs. Yeah, you're not worried about what's happening later today or tomorrow, are you? Or what happened yesterday? Nah, we just had a good walk and that's it. Muy bien, Lara. Muy bien, Jerry. Muy bien, Lucy. Muy bien, Rango. That's my boy, Bruce.